And with us will be led in prayer by Alderman Gallagher. Please remain standing after that for the Pledge of Allegiance, and that will be led by Alderman at Large George Payne.
Heavenly Father, we love you and we thank you for the opportunity to meet here together, Lord. We thank you for the wisdom that you've graciously given us, Lord, and we pray for more of it. Lord, I also want to pray for the families around DeSoto County who are vacationing and out of the regular routine. Lord, I just pray that you would watch over the children, keep your hand over them and over our city. In your name we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First on the agenda this evening is the approval of minutes for the May 16, 2023 meeting.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Hoots, second by Alderman Payne. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Alderman Payne?
Yes.
Alderman Kelly?
Yes.
Alderman Hoot?
Yes.
Alderman Jerome?
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher?
Yes.
Alderman Wheeler?
Yes.
Alderman Flores?
Yes.
Yeah, and that motion carries. Next on the agenda is an interlocal agreement with the DeSoto County tax collector and tax assessor. Nick, will you brief us on that, please, sir?
Yeah, this interlocal agreement has been reviewed and revised a couple times by the attorneys for the cities and the county. The interlocal agreement basically sets forth the relationship between the county and city of Southaven. That will note that the city will pay pay $36,000 to the assessor and the collector, so $18,000 each, and then also increase the payment to the county for $100 to $125,000 of the first taxes collected. This will give an increase for the services provided by the collector and the assessor, along with the county, who's graciously working with us on this as well. So tonight we would need authorization for the mayor to sign the interlocal. I think all of the cities are trying to pass this tonight, and I think the supervisors will be taking up at a later date, but we want to make our approval contingent upon the supervisors also agreeing to it as well. I know they're reviewing it, or their attorneys are reviewing it as well. So tonight we just need authorization for the mayor to sign this interlocal with DeSoto County for the services of the tax collector and the tax assessor, and to authorize the payments as set forth in the interlocal.
I'll make that motion. Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Gallagher, second by Alderman Wheeler. Is there any discussion?
You okay with this? You're good with this?
Yeah, I mean, this is something I'm certainly okay with it. I don't know that this gets us across the goal line. Obviously, like I've said repeatedly, the issue here is between the county and the tax assessor. So, whatever, us showing that we're willing to pay more, I think sends a message that we're, sincere about there being a solution. However, that solution is between the county and the assessor and the collector. So I'm hopeful that they can get in the same room and work this out, after this. But no, this agreement today, I think it's very fair, and I have no concerns at all about it.
Okay.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Alderman Payne?
Yes.
Alderman Kelly?
Yes.
Alderman Hoot?
Yes.
Alderman Jerome?
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher?
Yes.
Alderman Wheeler?
Yes.
Alderman Flores?
Yes.
And that motion carries. Next on the agenda is an amendment to the agreement of the DeSoto County Convention and Visitors Bureau and the City of Southaven for the MOU at the Hotel Convention Center at the Civic Center.
Yeah, this agreement's actually, since we were signatory to the original MOU, we're also signatory to the amendment. The amendment basically, though, just affects the county and the CVB. It's just noting that the county and the CVB will have a joint account for the funds, including the $3.5 million and the other monies that's coming from the CVB for the project, or the Lander Center project. So it's just setting forth that arrangement between the two entities as far as the funding goes for the construction. So it's not really affects the city, but since we were part of the original contract, we are part of the amendment as well. So tonight we need authorization for the mayor to sign this amendment for the Lander Center project between the county, the CVB, and the city.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make that motion.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Payne, second by Alderman Kelly. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman who?
Yes.
Alderman Jerome.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman Wheeler.
Yes.
Alderman Flores.
Yes.
That motion carries. Next on the agenda is a resolution for vehicle for hire.
It's just one of those statutes that requires the board to approve a vehicle for hire. The resolution authorizes the vehicle for hire for elite executive car services for 1 year. And after that 1 year, they'll come back to the clerk's office for further review to see if the permit can be extended. But tonight we need authorization for the vehicle for hire for elite executive car service as presented.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Wheeler, second by Alderman Gallagher. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman who?
Yes.
Alderman Jerome.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman Wheeler.
Yes.
Alderman Flores.
Yes.
That motion carries. Next on the agenda is a city court contract amendment with Tyler Technologies.
This is the Tyler Technologies amendment, as the mayor noted. It will replace the global payment system and help also to reconcile statements for the city. It's the used for the hardware needed for the in-person payments, as well as the credit card processing on the back end for those payments. It's been reviewed by the courts department along with our finance department, and it will allow for easier reconciliation along with compatibility with our system. Also, it authorizes the fees be paid by the end user and not the city for any credit card charges. We're still waiting on a couple of comments I had on the agreement. So tonight, if we can get authorization to approve it for Thomas's signature contingent upon those changes being made or similar language being inserted, I think that would work for tonight. And then assuming we get that done, we can have it signed here into the minutes of the next meeting. If not, we'll just continue to hold it over until we get that contract in place for final approval.
I'll make that motion, Mayor. Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Payne, second by Alderman Hoots. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman who?
Yes.
Alderman Jerome.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman Wheeler.
Yes.
Alderman Flores.
Yes.
That motion carries. Next on the agenda is the Southaven Police Department printer contracts.
Yeah, these are just small printer contracts, but since they're contract that requires approval, so authorization for Chief Moore to sign these printer contracts, which will be for the West Precinct, and needed by the police at that precinct. It's a maintenance contract along with a purchase contract.
So moved. I'll second.
We have a motion by Alderman Hoots, second by Alderman Jerome. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Ayes have it, motion carries. Next on the agenda is a sole source agreement for the Southaven Police Department.
Yes, sir. There's actually two sole sources tonight associated with this item, so we can approve them both at the same time, and I'll just run through them both quickly, if that's okay. The first is for a sole source for the it's a headrest printer mount kit in the amount of $17,261.50. The entity is Pinnacle Networks, and they provide the sole source letter, provides where the software, the printer, the cables, and the headrest mount are all encased in one, and along with it allows for it to be durable. They're the only ones who provided the type that was actually needed and spec'd by the police department. And then second sole source is also it's with the it's a software package that'll help. It's Pro Logic IT. It'll help with the noise and basically an algorithm for our video cameras. So it'll basically allow for them to have better access to the body cameras, along with providing information and quickly allowing for the retrieval of that information. And that is an amount of $39,350. It's the software that's provided. So it's also ancillary to the purchase that's required of the service. So and also be a sole source on an ancillary purchase as per allowed under state law. So tonight, we would need both of these sole sources approved, allow for the mayor to sign the resolutions and for Chief Moore or his designee to sign any and all contracts associated with them or purchase orders.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Hoot, second by Alderman Payne. Is there any discussion? I'll just add, our police have updated me on this BreakCam technology. This is something it's incredible. I mean, it will have capabilities that we've never had before. It's like a query search. When they look, they can find whatever piece of evidence they're looking for. They give it a command, and it's amazing how it finds that data. Like you're looking for a specific vehicle or something. It's incredible technology that will make a tremendous difference for our police. So this is going to be a big thing for us. Any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman Hoot.
Yes.
Alderman Jerome.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman Wheeler.
Yes.
Alderman Flores.
Yes.
That motion carries. Next on the agenda is our affiliation agreement with our Southaven Fire Department with the DeSoto County Career and Technology Center West.
This agreement is the same agreement from last year with, so the prior revisions have been incorporated into it. It'll authorize our EMS to work with the Technology Center for training and practical experience. And I think in talking with Chief Scoggins about it, one of the new hires that's either on the agenda tonight or prior was from this program as well. So it has proved beneficial to the city for doing this. So I think it's recommended by the Chief Scoggins along with the fire department. So tonight need authorization for either Chief Scoggins or Mayor Musselwhite to sign the agreement with the DeSoto Center Technology Center West for approval to continue this clinical and practical experience provided by our fire department.
I'll make that motion, Mayor.
I'll second.
We have a motion by Alderman Payne, second by Alderman Jerome. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman Hoot.
Yes.
Alderman Jerome.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman Wheeler.
Yes.
Alderman Flores.
Yes.
That motion carries. Next on the agenda is a resolution to clean private property.
Mr. Mayor, I move we approve a resolution granting authority to clean private property as presented on this date. Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Payne, second by Alderman Kelly. Is there any discussion among the board? Hearing none, is there anyone in the audience that has a financial interest in any of the properties that would like to speak? Good evening.
Good evening, Rochelle McCracken. I'm attorney. I believe, and I'm not certain, this is my first time coming to the meetings. I've got the family with me. We have a property that was listed. Would this be the time that we would state that we have done our cleanup and
Yes.
trying to make sure
Which
that we're not
property
a
is
part
it?
of that?
Which one is it?
It's 1885 State Line.
Okay. And then do we have Whitney? So,
Austin is here.
okay, Austin, we want to verify that the work has been done before we remove it.
Yes. $1885. 1885. The state line. State line.
Yeah, we don't have to remove it. Okay.
What's the address?
1885
Yeah.
State Line.
Okay.
I don't see it on
It's on there.
It's on the agenda.
It's in bold.
Yeah.
Yes, we've cleaned up.
Here's what we can do, man. We can let Austin, our code enforcement team, inspect that.
Okay,
The work's been done. We just won't have it done. That way there would not be the charges.
yes.
So the board can go ahead and approve approve the resolution without that. If it doesn't have to be done, then we won't charge anybody for that. So
Thank you.
Yeah,
What I
but
just checked with them. To
he would be the
confirm that.
contact person, and if you will correspond directly with him, let him make sure the work has been done. If there's something else that's not done that needs to be done, he'll be able to tell you that. Will you help us with that, Austin? Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and may we be excused. I've been in court all day, but can we?
Absolutely, yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Been a long day.
Thank you.
Just want to remove it from the agenda.
We can just, Nick's guidance, so we can just approve it, and then no action has to be done.
Just because it's on the list, that gives you authority to do it, doesn't mean you have to go do anything.
Right.
Yeah, and we'll verify that they don't have any charges if it's not necessary. And is there anyone else that would like to speak? Are there any other properties that, in question where the work has been done? Okay, hearing none, no other
I would like to say
Yes.
something. My neighbor is not here. He was supposed to be here in 1905, State Line Road. He have cut it. He have cleaned it and cut it.
Okay, you want to mark that one down, Austin, and is that one in your, okay. Not, you said 1905?
1905, State Line Road.
Or is it 1925?
1905.
1905?
Not a 1905 on here.
That's the address.
You see 1905?
Scroll back the other way, I don't see that one. Let's see.
It's on the pictures. It's in front of the one we just did.
Oh, okay.
Okay, we'll do that one the same way. Austin will inspect that, and if there's more work, we do encourage that whoever owns it, we need to have direct contact information with our code enforcement team.
Right.
Do you have phone number direct, or I don't know if we have it, just to make sure, do you have contact information you can give him?
Right.
Okay, that'd be perfect. Thank you, sir.
Good neighbor.
Okay, anyone in the audience like to speak about any of the other properties? Okay, hearing and seeing none, roll call, please.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman who?
Yes.
Alderman Jerome.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman Wheeler.
Yes.
Alderman Flores.
Yes.
Okay, that motion carries. Next on our agenda is our planning agenda. Ms. Whitney Cook.
Okay, yes, sir. So our first application is design review for a new pediatric dental group, dental office. It's going to be on lot 36 of Silo Square Commercial Subdivision. What you'll see there highlighted in red, this is essentially going to be right behind Central Barbecue. So it's going to be on the south side of the new Grand Oaks Avenue on the west side of Getwell Road. Plat has already been recorded. It's 1.54 acres. You'll see in your package the elevations. It's a two-story office building, very conducive to what you already see there in Silo. It has kind of a southern charm to it. There were some changes to be made, not to the building itself, but to some landscape additions and to some specs for decorative lighting, to which they did agree to do. Planning Commission voted unanimously in favor of it as presented for the building elevations, though. And it was approved by Brian Hill, who is the overall developer, who kind of oversees the designs there as well. So.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we approve item number 1 on the planning agenda as presented tonight.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Flores, second by Alderman Payne. Is there any discussion on item 1? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman who?
Yes.
Alderman Jerome.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman Wheeler.
Yes.
Alderman Flores.
Yes.
That motion carries.
Our second application is for design review approval for an office building set as well as an ice cream shop on the southwest corner of Forest Bend Drive in Wildwood Subdivision in Getwell Road. If you will recall, about 2 board meetings ago, we did have an application for a conditional use permit for an ice cream shop. One of the contingencies we did put on there is that they couldn't have a drive-through. We didn't want a quick service type restaurant, so we wanted to have kind of a nostalgic ice cream shop. This application is on a residential office lot. So there are 2 office buildings that have been submitted for the back part of it. They do have your pitched roofs, architectural shingles, and traditional brick, so it merges well with the residential behind it. They've also taken those materials and brought them forth into the ice cream shop design, which as you go through your elevation package there, you'll see how they have adapted to that. The only thing we did ask with that application is they had that traditional bright pink Baskin Robbins color, and they had used it for your storefronts and your window frame outs. We asked them to please take that out. They did agree to that, put some bronze coloring in there. So the only thing you're going to see pink there will be the canopies and the umbrellas, which are easily taken out, removed if it's seen to be just overpowering, and of course the signage. It was posted, no residents had any issues with it, and with those changes, they did have it voted unanimously in favor by the Planning Commission.
Mr. Mayor, make a motion, we approve item number 2 on the planning agenda as presented tonight.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Flores, second by Alderman Wheeler. Is there any discussion? Can't vote no to an ice cream shop.
I mean, can't.
Ice cream?
I mean, it's there, and they've also made a good distance path there to get our pedestrian path down the front, so the kids leaving school can head
Yes.
down, hit the ice cream on the way home. So nobody complained about it.
Any other discussion on item 2? Hearing none, roll call.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman who?
Yes.
Alderman Jerome.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman Wheeler.
Yes.
Alderman Flores.
Yes.
That motion carries.
So our third application is also design review, and it is for a kidney dialysis medical office to be located on Lot 15 of the Airways Garden Commercial Subdivision, which is going to be on the south side of Clarington, actually in Clarington Cove. You'll see it highlighted right there in the red. There's medical offices on the north side and the south side, as well as across the street. Behind it, you do have some high-density residential. They did take that into consideration. If you can find the elevations in your package, you will see that they've done the pitch roof, architectural shingles, stone, brick, a lot of copper accent, exposed wood accent. It turned out to be a really beautiful building. We actually had no comments regarding their design package. They do have the decorative lighting. They did put together a good landscape plan. And as you can see again, beautiful building. So it was voted unanimously in favor of as submitted.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve item number 3 on the planning agenda as presented.
Second.
On item 3, we have a motion by Alderman Jerome, second by Alderman Hoots. Is there any discussion?
At least the grass can cut down.
Hearing none, roll call.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman who?
Yes.
Alderman Jerome.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman Wheeler.
Yes.
Alderman Flores.
Yes.
So our next application is for subdivision approval for the first 2 lots of the top of SIP subdivision. This is going to be directly across from the soccer fields on Snowden Lane. You'll see highlighted in red the portion that we're discussing tonight. The 2.05 acres that they're proposing in this application is for 2 lots. One lot being 0.948 acres and one being 1.37 acres. They do have the typical section we're putting together for the widening of Snowden Lane that has been taken into account. So that right-of-way dedication has been put into the width here. But it does comply with the overall requirements set forth in the ordinance for commercial subdividing of lots. We have no further questions. There were no comments on this one and was recommended approval and was voted unanimously as submitted.
Mr. Mayor, make a motion, we approve item number 4 as presented.
Second.
On item 4, we have a motion by Alderman Wheeler, second by Alderman Flores. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman who?
Yes.
Alderman Jerome.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman Wheeler.
Yes.
Alderman Flores.
Yes.
That motion carries.
So the next application is the design review for those particular lots. If you'll remember, we did a planned unit development on this property, and so there was commercial design on it, as well as like an open venue area, some office space. The two buildings that you see in front of you tonight are 2 of the retail buildings. They do propose to be faced towards each other with an open courtyard system on the interior and a water feature. The parking is located in the back, so what you have up against Snowden Lane is literally the frontage of the buildings, the walk path, the lighting, and so forth. It has a modern design to it right there. One of the things Urban Art did, Ryan is actually in the audience, one of the things he did was he took aspects of all different elements from different buildings all over that area to kind of combine them together. What you see there, there's aspects from the soccer complex where they have the tilted metal facade roof lines. You've got areas from tequilas with the color palette. So he combined all those very well into this design. It was received very well by the Planning Commission. They really enjoyed the flower areas, the built-in garden area systems that are around the window lines. They loved the interior space with the tree grates and everything in it, so it kind of creates an outdoor space for gathering right there. Again, it's kind of oriented where they face each other, and the parking lot is in the rear, which will actually be the front of the building, so we had some discussion on that. But what you'll see up against Snowden Lane, what's going to be your curb appeal area, will be very similar to what you see right there. There's the orientation of the building. We had no comments on the building. There was some adjustments to be made on the landscaping in terms of the species and additional coverage around Snowden Lane just to give it a better curb appeal. They did agree to that. They did submit it to us. So the red line copy of the landscape plan is in there. Planning Commission reviewed that at the actual hearing and voted unanimously to approve the elevations as is, photometrics as is, and the landscaping red line that was submitted that night.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to approve item number 5 as presented.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Wheeler, second by Alderman Flores on item 5. Is there any discussion?
So is one building designed to be like offices and the other one commercial development suites?
So what they're trying to do is they've got one is going to be an upscale beauty salon, which will have the suites in it, like what you've seen, the one that you have the signage on.
Okay.
The other one, it looks like, is swaying towards a restaurant. We've had a couple calls ourselves. I know that the client or the applicants and their designers are in the audience, and that seems to be where that one's going, which I think would be a great asset across from our soccer fields. But it is essentially a spec right now.
Okay.
Any other discussion on item 5? Hearing none, roll call.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman who?
Yes.
Alderman Jerome.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman Wheeler.
Yes.
Alderman Flores.
Yes.
That motion carries.
So the next application is subdivision application to further subdivide Lot 5 of the Diamonds of Snowden Grove subdivision. This is going to be on the east side of Snowden Lane, north of Pine Tar Alley. This is directly next door to the strike zone. Right now, it currently occupies 4.05 acres. And if you'll remember, a few months back, the north end of that is where we approved a 4-story hotel. They obviously did not need all that space, and I know you probably can't remember the site plan right now, but there was a big hard corner of space that was left remaining that had no use. So what they wanted to do was subdivide that out. So the 2.72 acres that you'll have at the north end where the hotel is will stay as 5A. They're proposing Lot 5B to be the 1.33 acres that's down there at the hard corner. They also have been given the typical section for Snowden Lane and the improvements to be done there. They do understand that 50% of that will be their cost on that linear frontage, but they have prepared for that with their design and have placed it in their plat application. So it does comply with the ordinances set forth for commercial subdividing, and was recommended as approved as is.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to approve item number 6 as presented.
Second.
On item 6, we have a motion by Alderman Wheeler, second by Alderman Kelly. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman who?
Yes.
Alderman Jerome.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman Wheeler.
Yes.
Alderman Flores.
Yes.
That motion carries.
Our next application is by Lifestyle Communities LLC for subdivision approval of Lot 39 for Silo Square Commercial Subdivision. The proposed lot encompasses 1.69 acres of property. It is directly across from where you see the dentist office that's already open for business inside Silo Square, highlighted there in red, so it's directly off of Silo Square and Lane South. It has been proposed as a commercial lot, and the master plan is shown as an office or a commercial lot. The only comments we had regarding this is that they needed to either put in their general notes or on the plat itself the setbacks that would have to be complied with on that property. They did agree to do that. So with those comments, it was recommended for approval unanimously.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion we approve item number 7 on the planning agenda as presented tonight.
Second.
On item 7, we have a motion by Alderman Flores, second by Alderman Payne. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman who?
Yes.
Alderman Jerome.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman Wheeler.
Yes.
Alderman Flores.
Yes.
That motion carries.
Item number 8 is an application by the city of Southaven to take the existing Lot 2 of Bob White Farm subdivision, which will be on the east side of Getwell Road, north of May Boulevard, where you see the East Precinct and Fire Station number 4, and to further subdivide that into 2 different lots, with Lot 2A being 1.94 acres and Lot 2B being 1.81 acres. It already has the existing general notes for setbacks, and it already has been addressed as a commercial/recreational piece of property. It does comply with the subdivision regulations set forth in the ordinance and was recommended and voted unanimously at the Planning Commission.
Mr. Mayor, make a motion we approve item number 8 on the planning agenda.
Second.
On item 8, we have a motion by Alderman Wheeler, second by Alderman Flores. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman who?
Yes.
Alderman Jerome.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman Wheeler.
Yes.
Alderman Flores.
Yes.
That motion carries.
So our final application is an application to rezone approximately 70 acres of property on the north side of State Line Road, east of Getwell, from Ag to PUD. If you recall, I know some aldermen have been here for a while. We have always had people come in trying to do planned business park there. They want to kind of trickle down from the Memphis market and bring the warehouses. We didn't feel like that was a good plan, so the new applicant, which is owner of ServPro, or a franchise of ServPro, approached us and wanted to do something on the property. They wanted to purchase the area north of the TVA lines there to do their ServPro office. But then we discussed a mixed-use development, which you have in front of you now. That mixed-use development includes a transitional area along State Line Road to provide residential office to buffer Summerwood and Witten Place residences to the south, and any commercial that comes north of that. It obviously has a hard corner that would be commercial, but we identified that as residential commercial. We did ask them to remove car washes, C-stores, liquor stores, vape stores, all those lovely things that we're trying to do away with here, and they agreed to that. They did remove that. On the interior space that you see kind of in the light tan, that was kind of the area of question we didn't know what to do with. So one of the things we are missing in the area is what we call the mom and pop footprint for warehouse. So they're small footprints that may have an office showroom up front, like a kitchen place, maybe a plumbing facility, something like that. So it's small footprint areas, not something you're going to have a lot of truck traffic with. And then over in pink, you have where the storage will be for ServPro and their extension there. We did have some people at the meeting. There was a lot of false information being put out on social media. Once we cleared up to the residents what was actually going there, they were very agreeable to it. They were very appreciative of it. They did voice their concerns for any truck traffic. So one of the comments we made to the applicant and the designers that we work with is that there should be minimal traffic that has to do with trucks, but if it is, we're going to have it designed to where they exit out on Getwell Road and go north. That way nobody can drop down onto the State Line Road points and try to gain access to State Line Road or go further to Malone or onto Getwell. We're going to do that via some boulevard entryways, narrowed drives, so it's not conducive to a truck going through there. But again, the development that is being proposed there will have minimal traffic when it comes to 18-wheelers. We've also put a large buffer line along State Line Road, and the detention you'll see is actually in the back. So again, once they saw the development, the residents were fine. We addressed any of the concerns there, and I think the only other thing that they asked about was curb cuts and the light that was going to be around those curb cuts in the existing building. So everybody has agreed to take those office spaces along the front and flip the parking into the rear so that the lighting is in the back and nothing will be along State Line Road. So that appeased the last of the concerns, and it was voted unanimously in favor of for mixed-use development that you see in front of you now.
Mr. Mayor, make a motion we approve item number 9 on the planning agenda as presented.
Second.
We have a motion on item 9 by Alderman Wheeler, second by Alderman Flores. Is there any discussion among the board? We'll need to have, since there is a zoning change involved, we will open the floor up for a hearing, but is there any preliminary discussion among the board? I would like to commend everybody involved with this. As Whitney can tell you, a lot of times, especially when you have an area like this where you're in a transitionary area between industrial and then you got residential close, you know, we have an obligation to our people that own properties there, and especially the residential areas, that there is a proper buffer and there is a good transitionary design. And so Whitney's done an incredible job with that. But I want to point out too that I'm involved in a lot of these discussions, but Whitney more so than me. Another example of when you say no to things that aren't the best thing, we have an obligation to protect our city and the property values in the city. And sometimes that means that you have to say no. And no one likes to be told no. Whitney's good at that, and we need Whitney to be good at that. And so I back Whitney on that, and that's the thing that I come to her. We hired Whitney because she is a planning professional, so many times in my career, I will ask her, you tell me, is this a good move from the city from a planning aspect? And if the answer is yes, then I'm going to be behind that. If the answer is no, then I'm not going to be behind it. And but I bring that up tonight just to show you this is a prime example. We've had numerous people come to that corner. It's a high-profile corner. It's a grand entrance to our city at Getwell and State Line, and so we want to be careful what goes there. And so Whitney and I have told many people no, and then we kept on pushing, and then we finally got something that fits well there. So I commend you, Whitney, and I think all the people that were involved in this design. We appreciate you bringing this development here. I think it's going to be a good fit for that location. Any more discussion among the board, and then after that we'll open up for the zoning hearing.
You know, that's one of the things that you never really think about, but having a transitional zone to go from all the, you know, warehouses and industry that's north on Getwell to kind of transition into Southaven residential. It's a really good idea.
Well, not obviously not being critical. We certainly appreciate the industrial developments in our city, but what you said, Alderman Payne, is exactly what they say. Well, they say, well, you have industrial in Memphis coming to your city, and we said exactly. That's why we don't want it there. Mm-hmm. And so there's an argument that could be made either way, but like you said, it needs to be a transition there, you know, because you got the residential at Summerwood and Witten Place, Ansley Park and all that, and then you have others that are actually on State Line Road there. So this was a job well done by all.
Exactly.
Okay, if there's no other discussion among the board, can we make a motion to open a zoning hearing?
Make that motion.
We've got a motion by Alderman Hoots, second by Alderman Wheeler. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Ayes have it, motion carries. The floor is open publicly for, since there is a zoning change, is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak to the zoning change? Anyone want to speak about the zoning change on this property? Okay, no one wants to speak. Is there a motion to close the zoning hearing?
So moved.
Got a motion by Alderman Hoots, second by Alderman Flores. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Ayes have it, motion carries. The zoning hearing is closed. And now can we formally vote to approve item 9? Roll call, please.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman who?
Yes.
Alderman Jerome.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman Wheeler.
Yes.
Alderman Flores.
Yes.
Okay, that motion carries. Thank you, Whitney. Okay, next on our agenda is our mayor's report. Just a couple of things I want to update everyone on tonight. First of all, I believe we've discussed this in previous meetings, but we've started to notice that we've had a little bit of a problem. Like I know the aldermen, y'all have come to me at times and question why there's piles of rubbish around our city that, you know, that have turned brown, meaning that they've been sitting there for a while. And so the challenge that we have is that in our contract, in our rubbish contract, there is a limit on the volume of the load that the contractor picks up. So, you know, for 99% of the times in our city, when someone, you know, trims some hedges or, you know, has grass clippings or even not, you know, cuts some prunes a tree, that kind of thing, and they stack it up, it's no big deal. It's picked up, it's good. Occasionally we have some that will have a massive project, like they're renovating their house and they're landscaping, so they're, especially with the winter storm we had where a lot of landscaping died. So people are going and doing these massive projects and pulling all this stuff out and stacking it at the street. Or we've even had even more extreme situations where someone cuts down a huge oak tree. I mean, this thing, and then they leave it at the street, and this thing's massive. It's 40 feet long. And so what we've been facing is people question, well, why aren't y'all picking that up? And so the problem is, again, when I said our rubbish contractor is not going to pick all that up, it takes a number of trips for them to get all that. Well, as I've told my team, what good does it do if you go pick up one load, but you don't pick it all up? It changes nothing. You still got the eyesore of the rubbish on the street, and it stays there for weeks and weeks. And so I don't think that our ordinance was ever intended to pick up things that should be done by a contractor. It's like if you go hire a contractor, you know you got a major tree to be removed, there should be haul off in that contract. That's not the city's responsibility to haul that off. So the bottom line is the majority are not abusing it, but we have some situations where this is being abused in the city. So we want to clarify that with our ordinance. So we've been discussing it. Our Public Works Director, Robert Booth, Whitney, Nick, we've had discussions about it on how we can tweak the ordinance. So the report tonight is we're going to send you a proposed ordinance change, but I want to go ahead and kind of brief you on that. Basically, what the wording is that we're going to indicate that if it's a job where you're hiring a contractor to do, or that magnitude, anything that's not routine maintenance to trees, then the city's not picking that up. You need to hire in your contract with them. You need to have haul off in that. So that will help us get rid of these situations where we have these rubbish piles throughout the city. And I don't know about y'all, but I ride around the city. There was one day I contacted Robert. I mean, just going across the city, I probably saw 7 or 8 piles, and they're massive. You know, and like I said, they're brown. They've been sitting there for weeks and weeks. So anyway, we got to dress the city up. We can't have that. So we're going to tweak that language, and Nick will send that out to everybody for your review between now and the next meeting. But I just wanted y'all to kind of know what the purpose of that is. Is there any? Yeah, sorry, I was going to ask any input or questions.
Can we add like rental property where they come in and just stack all the furniture and everything out of the street? Can that make sure we address that too?
Yeah, I think that that's not a. We already have that.
We already
Yeah.
addressed that, so if we see that they've gutted it and evicted somebody or something of that nature, the code enforcement gets involved, and we will send it over to Public Works, but notify them that this is an eviction move out, and then, they may come schedule a pickup, but I believe it's usually the cost from the actual, not Public Works, but actually from the people, waste management people that will use, but.
Can we not require them to get a dumpster? Have a private company put a dumpster out there and put all our stuff in a dumpster to pick it up?
Yeah, if they're doing like Whitney, if they have a renovation, don't we already have that in the?
What you could do is under 21-19-11, if you clean it up and the city can charge them and the taxes, so we could do it in the city code under that, and it would not only allow for it to be picked up, but it would also allow for you to charge the taxes that are being paid on the property for picking up.
Yeah.
So that may, even if you have an ordinance, that may be your best way to do it, under the 21-19-11, the cleanup, as opposed to the ordinances that under that 21-19-11.
You're talking about like condemnations now.
You can collect your costs associated with it.
Okay. We'll review that, make sure, but I think we got some of that covered elsewhere. But yeah, it's the same thing. We don't want to get into situations where someone moves out of a rental house and then just dumps it. We've seen that. They just dump it on the front yard and hit the road. You know, that's not good for our city. So we definitely, will address that too. And let me say this too, just for I know y'all understand this, but for the audience watching or anyone that may be watching, let me put this in perspective a little more. So like, we pay the contractor to pick up a certain amount of load. So like if they go out there and it's this massive load and they have to spend 20 minutes picking up one house, then you look at if they had to do that numerous times, that it affects their ability to finish the route throughout the city, to hit all the houses that they're responsible for. So that's why, and there has to be a little bit of common sense here. If you're doing if you're knocking down a 50-year-old oak tree, that you need to have a professional haul that off. And so, so the wording will indicate that if it's a professional type job or, requiring a third party contractor, you got to haul that off. City's not going to pick that up. So that makes sense to everybody?
Good idea.
Yep.
Okay, so just like I said, no action tonight, but just be on the lookout. We'll send that proposal to you to be ready for adoption at the next meeting. Next thing, item 8 on our planning agenda was dealing with the proposal that we've talked about. We know that we have got to eventually make some changes as our city has grown and as the commercial development has moved quickly in the Snowden district. We know that we've got to have better facilities for our police on the eastern part of our city. We have a small east precinct that was mainly used for traffic division, not big enough to be a full service precinct. And so we've had a proposal by a developer to do a land trade with us, which we've talked about. And so that is something that this was the first, we had to subdivide the property. Then Nick is actually finalizing the contract, but we're going to have that contract in front of you at the next time. And it's in the city's favor. You know, when we do the land trade and then we buy the building, then it's going to net us between $600,000 and $800,000 in value. So it's a gain for our taxpayers. So it's I mean, I hate to use a casual term, it's a no-brainer, you know, but we need to do this. So just the update is we're going to have that contract in front of y'all at the next meeting. So hopefully we can get moving forward with that.
Of the two slots we approved tonight, which one are we talking about?
It's 8, is it, Whitney? 8?
So, yes, so one where we subdivided out the property, these precinct and the fire stations on, separated those out, so the fire station will
it'd be the one with the
itself,
police
it'll be
precinct.
autonomous, so we can do the land swap.
We would be given the property that we subdivided. We'll be keeping the fire station, but the other one we would be
smaller piece.
trading that one, right?
Okay.
So we subdivided it so we could trade one without the other. So that's anyway. Again, that's just on the next meeting that will be laid in front of you, and any discussion between now and then, just reach out if you will to any questions that you have. We've reviewed the design of the building. Our police has thumbed that up. They like it. Gives the police flexibility to make changes on the interior later. They don't like it, so it's like we want it, so everybody's ready to roll with it. And that's all I have tonight. Next on our agenda is our personnel docket.
Mr. Mayor, I move we approve the personnel docket as presented on this date.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Payne, second by Alderman Wheeler. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman who?
Yes.
Alderman Jerome.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman Wheeler.
Yes.
Alderman Flores.
Yes.
That motion carries. Next on the agenda is our city attorney's legal update. Mr. Nick Manley again.
Yeah, just a couple items, no action, just need to enter contracts into the minutes that have been previously approved and now been executed. Those are the amphitheater contracts that were previously approved, and also for the amphitheater concerts, and also the intent of Bank Plus to renew the sponsorship agreement for an additional 5 years with for the amphitheater. The original contract when it was approved in 2014 or 15 gave a 5-year option to renew, and so that 5 year will be effective January 1, 2025 through the end of those 5 years. So they have provided that notice that had to be provided this year if they intended to renew, and they have intended to renew. So that will be that's just in the minutes. No action to take since it's already been approved and signed, but we need to put that intent in the board minutes, so it's on our minutes. But anyway, that's all I have. And the amount goes to $120,000 per year for the increase for the naming rights as previously negotiated. So no action, just need to make that in the minutes, so it's on our pursuant to the contract that was previously approved.
Thank you. Okay, next on our agenda is our utilities billing leak adjustment docket.
Mr. Mayor, I move we approve the utility bill leak adjustment docket as presented on this date.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Payne, second by Alderman Hoots. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman who?
Yes.
Alderman Jerome.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman Wheeler.
Yes.
Alderman Flores.
Yes.
That motion carries. Next on our agenda are 2 claims dockets.
Mr. Mayor, I move we approve docket number 1 in the amount of $3,295,986 $94.48, including demand checks.
Second.
On docket one, we have a motion by Alderman Payne, second by Alderman Hoots. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman Hoots.
Yes.
Alderman Jerome.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman Wheeler.
Yes.
Alderman Flores.
Yes.
That motion carries on docket one. Is there a motion to approve docket two?
Mr. Mayor, I move we approve docket number 2 in the amount of $22,264.29. Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Payne, second by Alderman Kelly. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman Jerome.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman Wheeler.
Yes.
Alderman Flores.
Yes.
That motion carries. Next on our agenda is the purpose of determining the need for executive session.
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion by Alderman Gallagher, second by Alderman Wheeler. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Ayes have it, motion carries. The need this evening is potential and ongoing litigation in accordance with state law, economic development within the city, personnel and parks, and interdepartmental personnel with no action. Is there a motion to declare executive session?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Payne, second by Alderman Hoots. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Ayes have it, motion carries. The mayor and board will now enter executive session.